What is up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. Now, I know it's late, but I just wanted to come on here and do this story time because it has been on my mind for the longest, and I just wanted to go ahead and film it now. I was going to get out my camera and record, but honestly, I had a long day at work, and I just wanted to go ahead and just film on my phone just to get it out of the way. So, here goes. Okay, so, this story time for tonight is gonna be about my bossy ass best friend. Now, this was back in sixth grade. I was what, like 11, 12 then. I was really shy. Well, not shy. I mean, I just really didn't know how to stand up for myself and whatnot. And this girl who I'm gonna say her name is Juno. Like, we're on good terms now. Like, she's grown up, I've grown up, we're over it and whatnot. Like, she even has a boyfriend now. So shout out to you, Juno. Hey girl. Like, we've grown up since then and stuff like that. But back then, she was a bitch. Like, she was bossy as hell. Like, I could not do a damn thing without her breathing down my neck 24/7. So, let's get into the story. Okay, so this was back in like what, 2009, 2010. I was in middle school. I was in the sixth grade, and me and this girl, we were friends. We were friends since the third grade. We still are friends now, and we don't talk that much anymore and stuff like that because we're on our different roles and whatnot. And plus, she had moved during my seventh grade year, but we were friends since the third grade and stuff like that. And we just so happened to have sixth grade together. And I remember on my first day of school when sixth grade had started and stuff like that, we had sat together in the classroom in our math class and we were talking and stuff like that. And we were just doing what friends do, just chilling, hanging out and whatnot. And there were times where, like, let's just say if she saw me hanging out with somebody and stuff like that, like, she'd be giving me these dirty looks and asking me, like, why am I hanging out with them? Like, you shouldn't be hanging out with them. I don't like them. Like, first of all, honey, I do whatever the hell I want when I want. Like, just because you don't like someone doesn't mean that I'm not gonna like them just to satisfy you. Like, there's this one girl that was in my sixth grade class who I graduated with. I'm gonna say her name is Danielle. I remember I was just talking to her. I think we were at lunch. I was talking to Danielle, or I was in class talking to Danielle, or something like that. And I remember when we got out in the hallway, when it was time for us to go to our next class, which was our language class, which just so happened to be next door to our math class. She had pulled me aside. She was like, "Hey, Duntavius, are you friends with Danielle?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Don't talk to her. I don't like her." Okay, just because you don't like someone doesn't mean that I'm not gonna like them just to satisfy you. I mean, I didn't say that, but I was thinking it because, I was weak, dumb, and naive then. Like, I just basically went with it, in which I still talked to Danielle, even though she did not approve of me talking to her. I still talked to her. Like, you don't own me, honey. Like, I talk to whoever the hell I want to. So I remember there was another incident where I remember, like I had said, my math class and my language class were next door. And my language teacher, there were two of them. Like, if you went to middle school with me, like I'm talking about in middle school, if you went to middle school with me, like, in some classes there were two teachers in a class, in which my math class there were two teachers in the class, and in my language class there were two teachers in the class. The only class I didn't have two teachers in was my science class, my social studies class. So my language teacher, in which one I'm gonna say her name is Miss Goldberg, and the other one, which is a kind of like a heavyset black lady, a young heavyset looking black lady. I'm gonna say her name is Miss Johnson. So I remember we had went to their class and stuff like that. And that day, I guess they were feeling real generous. Like, they had set up little stations to where we can like play games and stuff like that. And I remember me and a group of these girls and stuff like that. We were playing Scrabble. And I remember Juno, she was like sitting at Miss Johnson's desk. 'Cause I think Miss Johnson was out that day for something. And she, by the way, she had like a pretty blue table. I liked it. And Miss Johnson, she was out for that day. And I remember Juno, she was just sitting at her table playing cards with some other people in the class and stuff like that. And I remember I was playing Scrabble with the girls, and I was like, and y'all know that feeling like how you can feel when someone's looking at you. Like I had felt like somebody was looking at me, and I remember I had turned and I had looked, and I had saw Juno just giving me, well, she had this blank mean stare on her face, like just looking at me, rocking back and forth. And Miss Johnson's chair, like, girl, like, sis, what's good? Like, you all right? Like, you just staring me down. Like, damn, I can't talk to anybody else in the class. Like, it can't always be about you 24/7. I have other friends I associate with too. And I remember one girl who I graduated with. I'm gonna say her name is Kiki. I'm gonna say her name is Kiki. I remember she had picked up on it. She was like, "Why is Juno staring at you like that? Like she just giving you like this dirty look." Cause she had imitated the look that Juno was giving me, like that kind of look, which she wasn't. I'm just saying. But she was like, "Why is Juno looking at you like that? She just giving you like this dirty stare and stuff like that." And I didn't even pay it no mind. I just said I didn't know, and I just continued on playing Scrabble and stuff like that. And Juno continued looking at me, and then she just forgot about it. She just forgot about looking at me and stuff like that. And also, I remember like back in those days, like she was super, 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 super obsessed with Justin Bieber. Like she was head over heels for Justin Bieber. I remember on her Facebook page and stuff like that, she had put she works at being Justin Bieber's girlfriend. In which, honey, I hate it. In which, honey, like she used to talk about how she's in love with Justin Bieber, and she used to follow up on like the gossip about Justin Bieber, and she used to tell me about it, in which it went in one ear and out the other because, like, girl, I don't want to hear about Justin Bieber. Like, he's a good artist, but I'm just not really a fan of him like that. But it's just like this, honey. I wanted to tell her this, but like I said, back in those days, I was kind of um I really didn't know how to stand up for myself and stuff like that. And I didn't really know how to speak up for myself. But I so bad wanted to tell her, like, honey, Justin Bieber can walk into this club and girls swarm around him. Do you think out of all those girls, like Justin Bieber can walk into a classroom right now and a lot of girls swarm around him? Do you think out of all those girls in that classroom, or better yet, in the whole entire school, he's gonna pick you? Like, keep dreaming. Like, I wanted to tell her that, but no, because low key, I felt sorry for her. She really didn't have many friends. And plus, she was like a chubby girl. Like, she was kind of like an overweight, well, not kind of, she was an overweight girl and stuff like that. And I really didn't want to hurt her feelings or anything like that. Like, I just didn't want to hurt her feelings because that would have hurt her, especially coming from me because I was supposed to be her best friend. And that wouldn't have hurt coming from me. So that's why I just zipped it up and throwed it away because I just did not want to hurt her feelings. And I remember one time, I remember, let me see. Let me see here. One time I remember we had went to lunch, and if y'all remember those pizzas in the bag, like those yummy Tony's pizzas or something like that in the bag, them bitches was so good. I love those pizzas so much. I still do. And I remember they were having pizza for lunch. It's either they had pizza for lunch and something else. And I remember she had asked me, we was standing in line and stuff. We always had went to lunch with our language teachers. And I remember we were standing in line and she had turned around. She was like, Dontavius, what are you getting for lunch? And I said, I'm getting something else. She was like, don't get that. Get pizza with me, please. And I was thinking to myself, girl, if I want to get pizza, I'm going to get pizza. Like, why are you trying to control me like that? But I went along with it and I got pizza with her, even though I wanted something else. But hey, you live and you learn, right? And she also happened to have a best friend too. in which I'm gonna say her name is Lucky. I don't know why. I'm just gonna say her name is Lucky. And like she was a nice girl, like a very sweet girl. She had moved out of state. She moved somewhere. And I think that was during seventh grade year. She had moved somewhere, seventh or eighth grade year. She had moved somewhere. But I remember she was a sweet girl and stuff like that. But you know how it's the domino effect. Somebody sees someone doing you some way, so they're gonna join in on the fun, do you the same way. Like it was basically a domino effect with her. Like she had saw Juno bullying me, so bullying, not bullying. She had saw Juno treated me some kind of way, so she decided to join in on the fun too and stuff like that. And like, yeah, and yeah, like she just decided just to join in. Like she did it somewhat, but not a whole lot. And there was actually a time where me and Lucky had stood up to her and stuff like that, like telling her like, look, like you don't need to be bossing me around like that. Like I'm not like a little slave that you can just boss around and treat any kind of way and stuff like that. And we was letting her have it. I can't remember word for what we said. Like we damn sure didn't cuss her out. Well, Lucky cussed her out, but I didn't. I was just telling her like you shouldn't be treating me like that and all that kind of other stuff. And like I was letting her ass have it. I call her stupid. I call her selfish, manipulative, like all kinds of stuff. Like I can't remember what I said, but I was letting her have it, and it hurt her feelings somewhat and stuff like that. And once she found out we weren't gonna kiss her ass and stuff like that, she eventually came around. But she tricked us, in which she still continued her shit. And I remember that was during PE class that day. And also, if you were in middle school with me, you know they used to have something called breaks. Now, breaks, what they are is basically like, I don't know if they have them now. Sorry. Breaks, I don't know if they have them now at the middle school, but the middle school that I went to. But basically, what they are is one grade, sixth, seventh, or eighth grade. That one grade they get together and basically you could either buy snacks or they sell snacks outside, or you can either bring your own snack and basically you just chill out, eat your snacks and stuff like that, and everybody just basically comes together kind of like a family reunion and just has a good time. Basically, that's what that is. And I remember during the break, I remember she had this crush on an eighth grade boy and stuff like that, in which I'm gonna say his name is Ethan. She had a crush on Ethan and stuff. He was an eighth grader, and I remember she always used to try to get me to talk to him for her. In which, girl, why would I try to ask out a guy for you when I'm a guy myself? Like, what the hell? And I remember one time she had gave me a note to give him or something like that, in which I remember I gave it to her. I not gave it to him. I didn't give it to him. Scratch that. I did not give it to him. But I remember, I had took it, and then I had pretend like I had gave it to her, and I had threw the note in the trash can at the end of the day. Like, girl, why the hell would I try to talk to a guy for you? Like, the fuck? And let's see. And she also used to try to take my stuff too. Like, I remember I still do love to write. I still do love to write. I want to be a writer pretty soon. And I remember I was writing a story, and I remember she used to just be mean and take my stuff. Like she'd take my pen and just not want to give it back and stuff. And I tried to get it back from her, so I did. She didn't want to give it back, and she used to take my storybook and try to hide it and shit like that. Like she used to get on my goddamn nerves, and I told her to try to tell her to give it back, but she didn't want to give it back and stuff like that. And when I had acted like I was finna go tell the teacher, she gave that shit back then. And there was one incident where I'm sorry, like my storage is kind of full. That's why I'm looking down because it's gonna fill up pretty soon. And I remember one incident where we were talking about music. We were in our math class. We were talking about music for some reason. And I remember we had brought up rap music, and I was like, I really don't like rap music like that. And she was like, you're black. You're supposed to like rap music. Like, the fuck? Like, no, I don't. We'll continue this story on my camera because this storage is almost full. So, be right back.